Hey guys, I'm so excited about this Glam Chats this morning. I have one of my stylists with me, Makenna.
Hey.
She's been at my Barton Hills location for 2 years. Is that right? Did you hit
Yeah,
your
I just hit my 2-year mark. Yes.
Cool. I am so excited to
Exciting.
have her. She's done amazing. I really wanted to bring her on today because I know sometimes you guys are on the fence about whether you want to go independent or not. If you're independent and you're just getting started, she's a great example for you. Like maybe you want to go independent really fast, or you've only been out of school for a year and you're like, "Oh my god, I just want to do this." She can really walk you through some of those things that are scary and let you know how she does her marketing, how she does her Instagram, which she's fantastic about. So if you're in the early stages of your career, this episode is for you. You guys don't forget to hit subscribe. Let me know that you like what I'm doing. I love attention and it helps me to know that we're on the right track. So McKenna
Yes.
has been with us for 2 years at our
Mhm.
Barton Hills South location. I remember your first interview with me.
I know,
I
I
just
remember it too.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was at our Gateway location. She actually came to my office, which is really fun. I mean, this was before I was doing more virtual interviews. This is when I was still working in salon. I still had an office in the salon. She was pretty fresh out of school. How long had you been doing hair?
So, my timeline is a little bit weird because I started school, I took a leave of
That's
absence to
fine.
go back to work, I went back, and then I finally graduated around 2020, and then I didn't fully start in a salon till, like, stuff started opening up after
Right.
COVID, and
That
then
you COVID stylist
I
had it
know it was
rough. It's a
so
whole
hard.
different thing.
So really, I like to say I've been fully working in a salon for about 3
Yeah.
years because I bounced around to a couple places, worked front desk, whatever, had my hands in hair a little bit. But prior to working at bex+Co, I was an assistant for 9 months, and then I was on the floor for a month and decided that type of salon just didn't fit
I
me.
mean, you were like a year when you got started, you were literally like 1 year
Yeah, not
into, like,
even
fully working in a salon doing hair and really only a few months or I mean, a month into, like, actually being on your
being,
own in the
like, on my own.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so I wanna back up because I skipped over some stuff. I mean, why don't you we know your story, but tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your hair journey, what you like to do, what
Yeah.
makes you special, so that we can get to know you a little better.
Okay, I am from Austin and I have always wanted to do something in the beauty industry. For a while, I wanted to do makeup and then hair. I graduated high school early and immediately was like, okay, I need to go to beauty school. College just is not feeling right. Online looking at what paths I could go down that way. And I'm like, just none of this feels like something I really want to do. Like, it feels like something I'm obligated to do. And thankfully, my parents were very supportive. They were like, "You've always wanted to do something in, like, the beauty industry. Go to beauty school, see
Yes.
how it works. If it doesn't work, you can always go back to college and find something the more, like, traditional route." Started beauty school. That was a really hard mentally. It's just a lot.
Mhm.
Being in beauty school, having that, like, dynamic of a bunch of girls in the room. There's a
It
lot of
is.
drama that goes on. So I took a 6-month LOA to figure out if I truly wanted to do that or if I wanted to pursue a different route. And then by the end of that, I was like, you know what? This has been what I've wanted to do. I need to get through school because it's going to be different when I get in a salon. Went back, went hard, was there every day, as many hours as I could in a
Perfect.
day, finished. And it's been so great now that I'm out and
I
actually.
love that. I love that. I wanna touch on a few things because I think that's in common for a lot of us. I was in school a long time before you, but I really felt the obligation to go to college, and I just, like I kept going to college and dropping out, and then going back and dropping out and going back, and I had already gone to beauty school, so I went to beauty
Okay.
school early, like 17 years old. So
Yeah.
I did hair the whole time, and I would drop out and do hair and make a ton of money and love it, and then be like, "Oh, I should really go to college. It's what everybody's doing. I need to have more I need to have more options. I can't do hair my whole life." And then finally, like my 3rd try at college, I was why am I doing this?
Why am I
I'm
doing this to
majoring in
myself?
English. What am I gonna be, an English teacher? No. Do I look like an English teacher? No. So I finally just was like, "Okay, you know what? This is what's right for me." And I love that you knew enough not to put yourself through that. And that I feel like your generation in particular is a lot more open to trade school and like going with your instinct
Yeah.
and knowing that you want to do something and being okay with it and knowing that you'll be successful in it. So
And
I
I feel
just
so many people need to hear that. There's so many
yes.
options outside of college. Even like my husband who works in the food industry, he's worked his way all the way up and you can actually do such incredible things
Right. No,
without
that's it.
having to have a college degree.
And it just shows that you can chase passion, like, even if your passion is not in academia, like, you can
Yeah.
do something that's your passion, even, like, art or hair or like a chef or whatever that is, and know that you can survive in that industry just as well as you can as a lawyer or a doctor. I mean, you
Oh
guys
yeah.
sometimes make more than lawyers and doctors starting out. So
Exactly.
that really blows people's mind, but I love that. And then the other thing I love you touched on is beauty school. Beauty school
Yeah.
sucks. I
It
like
sucks.
anytime somebody's I had such a great experience. I'm
No, you didn't.
really? Wow. I don't know where you went to school or if you're just like a super positive person, but like it is
Yeah.
enough. So beauty school and your first year apprenticing is enough to have a lot of people drop out of the industry because it's
It is
really hard.
brutal.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
It's
So,
so hard.
yeah, I always tell people just get through it. Just go, get your hours in, learn as much as you can, stay out of the drama, ignore the
Stay out of the
instructor
job.
that
Keep
doesn't
your
know what they're
mouth shut.
doing. Yes, and that's not to say all instructors don't know what they're doing, but there are I mean, there's so many instances where you've got an instructor you don't like and you've got drama and it's just a mess. So I just
Yeah.
always say, just get through it. You don't even have to really learn that much. Just do it because you're going to learn
Just
everything
learn
when
how
you
to
get out.
pass the state test.
Yes, that's all it
And then
is.
you
Yeah.
learn everything that you actually need when you're in your apprentice program. And
Yes.
that's how I felt. Once I got into that program, I was like, wow, this is fun. This is what I
Right.
was learning, wish I was learning in beauty school. You know?
Yes. No, I love all of that. So I love that you talked about that because we forget how hard it is. We really do.
Yeah.
So moving forward, so when we chatted, you really, I mean, you had only been on the floor for a little while. How many clients did you have when you went
I
independent and
had
came over to bex+Co?
none. I had one,
Yep.
maybe two people that actually followed me there,
Yeah.
and only one that really stayed with me past maybe one,
Yeah.
2 appointments. So I built all my clientele
Mhm.
from scratch there, and I did a lot of that through social media because I have a pretty big rule with myself of I don't like to do friends and family hair. It gets really stressful. I get a lot of anxiety if they don't like it, if they
Right.
decide to go somewhere else. So I built it all from just
I love that.
random people I found on the internet.
I love that. A lot of people ask, "Is it possible?" And I'm like, and this is probably what I told you. I'm like, "Yeah, it's possible. It's really hard. Like,
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna
you
be
did
really
tell me that.
hard."
You
Yeah,
were
and
like,
I
"If a lot of
say
people can do it, but
yeah.
it's
I'm
hard."
like, "Do you have a way to make money while you're not making money?" That's just part
Yeah,
of it. Like, you have to just hustle and get through it, but and I always say, you just have to get 1 year under your belt, and you're literally set forever. If
after
you
that
can do
first
1 year,
year,
you're
I
good.
was flying. I was
Yeah.
flying through, and now I'm
Yes.
just like, "This was the best decision I ever made," because I did it in the beginning. It was brutal, it was hard. I was stressed out, especially for the first, like, 3 to 6 months,
Yeah.
but now that I'm here, I feel like I'm living the dream.
You are. You absolutely are. Okay. So you had no clients. You've built your clientele in 2 years from the
Mhm.
ground up. How did you do it? Like when you say you did social media and you marketed, I think
Yeah,
that social media, it's so full of people posting beautiful hair pictures with, I mean, everybody now knows how to take a gorgeous
yeah,
picture, and when I'm scrolling my social media, because it's all hairstylists, I mean, I literally if I scroll for 5 minutes, I see about 200 beautiful photos.
yeah.
How did you set yourself apart, and how did you make yourself someone who's easy to find on social media?
I think that's a really good question because it can be so hard, especially if you don't
Mhm.
fully understand social media or you haven't been on it a lot. I personally have always loved being on social
Yeah.
media and doing something in that realm. But I think it is just figuring out exactly your niche and the kind of clients that you want, and then knowing how to market to them. So for me, a big way that I was able to grow a lot of clients was I boosted my posts. So I ran ads with
Okay,
pictures that I took, and then I
perfect.
refined those people that I was advertising to. So I set it to advertise to only people within a 20-mile radius
Love
of
it.
the salon, and then you can select, like, interests.
Okay.
So I selected stuff that I'm interested in, music artists that I'm
Oh,
interested in.
cool.
There was I was like, "Oh, this sorority has a lot of blondes that I would like to do."
Love
So,
it.
put their sorority in that. And then those type of people are seeing your ads constantly and eventually they click on it. So what I did in the very beginning was I didn't have a lot of money to run thousands of dollars
Sure.
ads. So I took whatever tip that client gave me for the
Oh,
day and I ran ads for
I
that.
love that. So what did that number look like most days? Like, how much do you run on an
Some
ad?
days it was like $30.
I love that.
Some days it was I spread it out, so I would do $5 a day or whatever.
Okay,
But a lot of times I would put in $100, two
cool.
hundred
And
bucks,
just let it spread out over a few days.
and just let it spread out.
I love that you bring up investing in your business because we
So important.
forget that we're business owners and that every penny we make isn't necessarily to be just thrown into our personal checking. It's
Yeah,
like you have to look at it as pie, and we're going to take one piece into our checking account, one piece to taxes,
yeah,
one piece to marketing, one piece to rent, one piece to supplies. And it all works out. I mean, you can still make a ton of money, but
yeah.
in the beginning, when you're not making a lot, it's really hard
To
to
not
take
just
that
take
$30 that you made and put it into
yeah,
Instagram, and you don't really see the results, but I mean, if you got 2 clients from that $30,
yeah.
that's 700 bucks.
And
So
it definitely makes a
amazing.
difference when you run your ads in the right way and you have a decent picture going around.
That
I would be like, "Oh, shit, I need to get 2 clients this week to be able to pay my
Yep,
rent," or whatever.
yep,
I would start running ads and I would get those 2 clients.
perfect. And the other thing that I watch Makenna's Facebook, I mean, her Instagram all the time. Facebook is actually a good place to draw clients too,
It
surprisingly, if
actually
you
is.
actually have to get on Facebook,
I know.
especially. It's one of those I was like, "Oh, Facebook, are we doing this again?" But it works.
Yeah,
But on her Instagram, she shows her face a lot. So you do
yeah.
curl tutorials, or you do a cute reel,
And
or
that has
you
really helped me
yeah.
niche down even more on my clients because
Mhm.
now I'm getting people who live very similar lifestyles to me. They like to
Yes,
go to the
I love
gym,
that.
they eat a similar way. We go out with our friends and do similar things. And I feel like the more I show
Well,
myself, the more
and
I
people wanna know what to expect. I mean, they're
yeah,
reaching out to a stranger on Instagram. If you're showing your face a lot and you're showing your personality, they at least know it's almost like they know you. They know who
yeah.
to walk in and look for. They know what to expect. They know what you sound like.
It is
So
so interesting once I started posting my face more. People walk in and they don't look around and go, "What do I do? Where do
they
I
know
go?"
it's
They
you.
see me and they're like, "Hi," even though I don't always know who they are.
Yes, and I love that. And then the other
Yeah.
part to it is you already start the conversations. So, like, when they sit in the chair, they already feel comfortable, and I it's the experience. It's not just the hair you can produce, it's the
100%.
conversation, it's the friendship, it's the comfort level. It's feeling safe in the space, and by having knowing you a little bit, they already feel safe. And a lot of
Yeah.
Instagrams, because when I get a new stylist reach out, the first thing I do is look at their Instagram. I mean, that's just what
Yeah.
I do.
That's how it is.
And I would almost rather you have 0 hair pictures and just a bunch of personal stuff than just all hair pictures,
Yeah.
because I don't know anything about you when I just look at hair pictures and I'm like, "Okay, I know this person can do good hair and that's really cool, but I mean, I
But who
know
are they?
nothing." I'm
Not that
trying to
they do
zoom
good hair.
in. Yes, and I'm trying to zoom in on the little profile picture. I wanna know a little. I mean, I'm nosy. I wanna know a little bit
Yeah.
about them.
No, and
So
I mean, you're sitting with this person for 3+ hours.
yes,
You need to be able to relate and get along with them
yes.
on some level.
Yes. So I think that's one of the things that you do really well is just being
Thank you.
present in your social media, even when it's probably a little uncomfy, even when you don't really want to, and just
Yeah.
showing every side of you. So I really commend you for doing a good job on that. And
Thank
and I
you.
think that hearing this just about putting your face on your social media, boosting your posts, really narrowing down your demographic to people that you know you're gonna like, which means you're building your dream clientele. Cool. So you're starting off with people you already like. I love that you're doing all that. So now I want to ask you questions that you can not answer or answer however you want to, because they're kind of like they're a little invasive, but I think that they help people to understand what it looks like as a new stylist. So I want to talk about your income. You don't have
Okay.
to give me exact numbers, but like,
Mhm.
you were in a commission salon before, you were apprenticing, and then you were on the floor. Talk to me about what happened with your income over the first year, the second year, and where you are now so people can understand what to expect with somebody coming with no clients to having a full book, what that looks like now that we know how you did it.
I was actually really shocked because I'm a big planner. So I wrote out my goals and how much money I wanted to make. But like after just the first week of me working there, I made more than I would make in 2 weeks
Yeah.
at my past salon.
So doubled your income.
So I
I say
doubled
that
it.
all the time.
Yeah.
You doubled your income the
I
very first
doubled
week.
it right away. And then it goes up and down because you're working for yourself. So sometimes you have a little bit more clients than others.
Mhm.
But my first full year, I did right over 6 figures. And then now I'm
Yeah.
on my second full year. I don't want to give exact numbers because I
Yeah.
don't want to jinx it, but it's more.
It's more. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you're making good money. Like you are
very good.
comfy, you feel great, like proud of what you're doing. I mean, you
Yeah.
probably quadrupled your income of what you would be in a commission salon.
Gosh, I don't even know
Yeah.
because yeah,
Because you
I
didn't work
should
in a
go
commission salon
I
very
should
long.
go look at that and
Yeah.
see
You
my
probably did, would be my
comparison.
guess. I mean, it's hard to say for sure, but that would be my guess. So
Yeah.
that's, I mean, it's just insane to think about. And this is this isn't 5 years in, you took all your clients. This is starting from
Yeah,
zero.
and I think that so many people scare you and are like, "Oh, you can't start from 0. You have to have 10 years behind the chair somewhere." And the reality is you can. You
Yeah.
have to work for it and you have to build
It's a
that
hustle.
clientele,
It is
but
hard ass work.
yeah,
It's
it's
hard work.
hard work. I
And it's
mean, there were
scary.
days I was crying in my car in
Mhm.
between clients
Normal.
because you have a shitty day and it's, "Shit, maybe I should just go work at HEB."
Yeah, and you're a
And
business owner, so if
yeah,
somebody's mad, you can't just be like, "Oh, call the manager." That's a
that's the
receptionist.
hardest part is it
Or, like,
just
reception's checking them out and they're mad
yeah,
about the price, and reception's like, "That's just what it costs."
that's
You have to
it.
be up there and be like, "And here's the option to tip me. Would you like to add
Yeah,
gratuity?" That's just being a
so
business owner
awkward.
is a lot of uncomfy conversations that you have to learn how to
A
have.
big thing that helped that is quote your clients before you do the service. Quote them over Instagram if they're messaging you to
Yeah,
book. Be very transparent with your pricing from the beginning.
transparency.
And if you think it might take extra product, quote them for that because they'd rather have a
Yeah.
lower payment when they get to the register than something that's $25 even more than you quoted them.
Right, and it's always under promise, over deliver. That's even with the results
Exactly.
of the color. If you're just even a little bit unsure of where you're gonna be able to take them, under
Yeah.
promise, and then when you over deliver, they're just
They're like,
blown
wow.
away, and they're
Yeah.
a client for life. So that's all about setting expectations. I always
Yes.
say, even old clients, clients you've had forever, like, depending on how long it's been between appointments, they might want a little change. The price changes. I say
Yeah.
train your clients to expect a conversation every single time they come in about what we're doing and how much it's gonna cost. I mean,
Yeah.
like, they should never think that it's gonna be the same every time no matter what they get, and that's something we used to
Yeah.
do. "Oh, yeah, partial highlight is $250." And like, partial highlight can mean
It can mean so many
100 different
things.
things. So,
Yeah.
I like to get a client expecting to have a different price every single time, to the point where they're almost asking, like, "Okay, here's
Yeah.
what I wanna do. It's been 6 months since I've been in. How much is this gonna cost?" As opposed to just expecting it to be a certain amount.
I
I love
100%
that.
agree. And
Mhm.
just being honest with them about it because they're gonna be okay with it if it's an extra $25 today, but they'd rather hear that
Yeah.
before the service starts. Because that's where I feel like I really struggled in the beginning was I wanted to have a bunch of different
Okay.
services and change these things up, and then I wasn't telling them, and then every time it was a little bit of a different price, and I was like, "Wait, I need to make sure I'm being
Yeah.
very clear about all of this because it's annoying."
Yeah, that's
You
true,
wanna
and
go get your nails done, and then every time you're just like, "I don't know what price I'm gonna pay
yeah,
today. Is
yeah.
it 100? Is it
A
100?"
10, you're like, "How much is it gonna be?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like there's something about, so when we're doing pricing, there's this idea, so the old school way, and it's not bad, this is how I ran my books, is like,
Mhm.
a partial highlight costs this, a partial highlight with a blowout costs this, a
Yeah.
partial highlight with a haircut costs this, and now I feel like it's a little bit more, we price the outcome.
Yeah.
Okay, here's where you are right now. Here's where you wanna be. Here's how much it's gonna cost. And we don't
Yeah.
talk as much about the process or what we have to go through, or because it stresses the client out. They don't
And they
understand.
don't need to know.
No, and they wanna take control. They're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't want the toner then. It's, I want this picture,
Yeah.
but can we skip this and can we do a fewer highlights?" No, we can't. If you want this result, I know how to get you there. Trust the process, and here's how much it costs, and it's just
Yeah.
an all-inclusive
That's
pricing,
why I
and
don't like the à la
yes.
carte where it's, "Okay,
No.
your highlight costs this, your extra bleach costs this, your toner costs this," and then
Oh my,
it's
it's, well, and they
confusing.
micromanage the appointment.
Yeah.
So, one thing too that I had a girl in one of our stylists. I love her to death, but she came from a commission salon that was really old school. I think it was maybe a Summit salon. And they were trying to charge by the ounces of color. That's how they priced the services.
Yeah, I
So,
get
like, they're, like,
a lot too.
recording the ounces of color. She's so I'm trying to explain to the client that I'm gonna use 4 ounces of color, but if we add the toner, it's gonna be 2 more ounces, and each ounce costs
Yeah.
$40.
It's so
And
confusing.
I'm like, "I don't even know what you're s how much is that gonna cost?" And what are you telling me that a root tap and a gloss costs the same as just a gloss because it's the same amount of color even though you're doubling your time? Your product is not
Yeah.
what's expensive. That's what the salon owner
It's your
thinks is
time
expensive.
and your knowledge on
Yes.
how to do it,
It's your
what you're
time,
supposed to
your
do.
experience, your skill level, the stuff you've invested money in. Your $9 box of color, $10 box of color is the least of your worries if it's gonna take you an hour longer. $10 compared to
Yeah.
if you make 150 an hour costs you $150. So that's what we should be pricing. So
Yes.
I like that you are having those conversations. You're pricing the outcome, not the service as what
I
it's
feel like it
called.
works out so much better
Yeah. And
when
doing
you
those
have it. Yeah,
consultations before you see them in the salon, like
yeah,
talking through on Instagram, right?
definitely.
Okay. Do you require so your process when you get a new client on Instagram, because I know Instagram clients bring a lot of anxiety. Do you make them send pictures? Do you
Yeah,
what
so
is
I
your
actually
process?
recently I started doing a application form.
Okay.
So when they go onto my profile or I can send it to them. I can also do this over DM. This just cuts out a lot of the back and forth. They'll put their inspiration pictures, pictures of their current hair, what their goal is, hair
Mhm.
history, all of that.
So you can price
And
the service right there.
I do. Yeah, I
90%.
always price quote over the phone.
Okay.
That way they don't come in and they're waiting to see. Some people have
Yeah.
a budget they wanna stick to, and then they sit in your chair and they're like, "Wait, I can't actually get my hair done."
Right.
So,
Right.
I wanna cut out all of that awkwardness
And then you're
and
you're putting your timing perfect too. You know
yeah,
exactly how long it's gonna take.
exactly. So, that's why I turned off my online booking
Okay.
because some people might think they need a partial or a full highlight, but really
It's a
they don't.
transformation.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a whole
Yeah,
transformation.
or even
So
worse, it's a gloss and you've booked 4 hours for it and it
exactly.
takes an
So, that
hour.
happens so often,
Yeah.
or they'll book for this huge appointment and then sit down and be like, "Actually, I decided I only want a haircut."
So if
So
somebody does that though, let's say somebody comes in and they don't give you any heads up. I wanna
yeah,
learn about your cancellation policy and how you ensure your time. So let's say somebody who's a new client
yeah,
books like a total transformation and they come in and they're like, "I actually can't afford it today and all I
yeah.
want is a gloss and a trim." Would you consider that a no-show or a late
So,
cancel? Would you be okay with it or what would you do in that situation?
technically, like, in my policy, you will get charged for the full service booked.
Because they didn't let you know 48
'Cause
hours.
they didn't let me know, yeah, 48 hours in advance. There are some times where I've had people come in and be like, "Listen, my baby got sick, we
Sure.
have all these hospital bills, whatever." And so, I do like to give people, like, a 1 or
And long-term clients, we're more
yes, in long-term I
flexible.
think it's definitely situational, but I like to give people at least 1 pass. If you're doing this to me
Okay,
every single time,
we got problems.
then we're gonna sit down and have a chat about it, but I'll let them know. I'll be like, "Listen, I understand things happen, so this time we're gonna just do your gloss and haircut at the price of a gloss and a haircut, but if this continues to happen in the future, it is within my policy that you get charged for the entire
Okay.
appointment booked, so just keep that in mind." Like, just text me.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Even
easy,
if it's the
and
night
it's
before.
when you explain to clients, like, in a very kind way, like, I know it seems silly, but because I'm self-employed, I have to it's like insurance on my time. If 3 clients do this a week, I can't pay my
Can't pay
rent.
my
Like,
bill.
I have to make sure that I'm guaranteeing that I can make my salary, and this is how
Yeah,
I guarantee my salary because I could have put somebody else in this spot if I would have known.
yeah,
So, I
and I
think
feel
that's
like
important.
it really is so rare that this happens to me now. Like, in the beginning, when you don't have regular clients and every single client sitting in your chair is a new client, it
Yeah,
happens a lot more
it does.
frequently. My clients know me now, they text me like a friend.
Sure.
They'll be like, "Hey, I'm at Ulta, what do I buy?" So,
Yeah,
letting me know in advance,
absolutely.
it's just something that
They
they
know, yeah, and you tr that's I mean, you have to train your client.
yeah,
So, having a little flexibility when you're growing and training them how to be a good client
yeah.
allows you to have the perfect clientele a year in. And that's just
Exactly.
that's part of the hard part.
It is, and setting your boundaries with yourself. I mean, everybody's different. I personally, I can't stand being a late person, so I
Right.
don't I'm pretty strict on my clients being late, and that doesn't mean we're not gonna do your full service, but it might mean you
You
get a
might not get a
partial and a
blowout or
partial.
curls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and my clients are never late.
Yeah. I think that that's important too to set those boundaries because it's not that you're being mean, it's that this is gonna run into somebody
It messes
else's
with my
time,
time. Yeah,
and
especially if it's your
I'm behind,
first
and the
client.
next client might be in a hurry, so they shouldn't have to sacrifice their curls because they have to leave at the end of their appointment because you
Yeah,
came late. That's not
yeah.
if
So
somebody's making a
I
sacrifice, it's you.
Yeah, exactly. So I never like to be late for.
I mean, and then you're less stressed, right?
Yeah, and then
You're
they
not
know
running
for
late,
next
you're
time.
not stressed.
Yeah, then they know for next time, "Oh, if I'm 20 minutes late, I don't get my hair fully blown out and curled," and that's the best part.
Yeah. Well,
So
and so that either they're not late or they walk in saying, "Listen, this is my fault. I know I'm late. I know I'm not gonna get a blowout today." And
exactly.
then you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I hate that, but yeah."
Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely
Sorry.
right.
Sorry. I like that you're ensuring your time, making sure that you're earning, and that's one of the big reasons you're making what you're making is
Yeah,
because even though you have flexibility, you're setting policies, you're setting boundaries with clients, and they are respecting those boundaries over time. So
and I think
that's
it's
important.
so important to give your clients what they need too. Like, I it's extremely rare that I'm even 5 minutes behind on somebody's appointment to come up to the front and get them and they're waiting.
Sure.
Same with, I think, quick response times is a big
Yes.
reason that I keep my clients and a big reason that I built my clientele so quickly. People sit in my chair, I always ask them, "How'd you find me? What made you pick me?" And a lot of them have just said, "You were the first person to respond
That's
back."
100% true. When you leave people on red in a text message, I mean, it's fine to set boundaries around, I only respond to texts, I only book appointments through
Like,
email, and having
yeah,
an auto response on your Instagram that says, "Hi, thank you for reaching out. Please text me at this number and I will respond within 1 hour." But it's setting
yeah,
the expectations of how to get a hold of you, and once you set those expectations, you better respond.
yeah,
So once you tell somebody how to reach you, then you need to be quick to respond if you're hungry
definitely.
for clients. If you don't need clients that
Yeah,
bad, do what you want. But if you're building and you're hungry for clients, it's gonna take a little more hustle and effort. It's gonna take a little bit more of I respond on weekends, I respond in the evening.
yeah,
And then once when then you train your clients once you have them and you let them know I have office hours or whatever that looks like. But
yeah,
in the beginning, you sometimes have to be a little more flexible and you have to just hustle a little more and know that it's temporary.
yeah, especially because in the beginning, those clients aren't coming to you for you.
No.
They're looking for a stylist, and yeah, they liked you, and
Right.
as well as they liked the 10 other.
They're gonna just, "Who can I get into? Is the price right?
Yeah,
Can they get me tomorrow? Can they" like, that's their criteria. It
exactly.
doesn't matter who it is, they just want it done. Gonna
So
res
now it's at the point where a lot of people that reach out to me want me. They've been following me for a while. They view my
Yeah.
stories every day and they're excited to come see me specifically. So a lot of them would wait longer for my response.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that now, and so you can be a little more
So
flexible.
I can be
Like
more flexible and be like, you know what? They messaged me at 8 p.m. I can wait till
yeah,
tomorrow
and
and
you've
respond in the morning.
created that lifestyle for yourself. That's
Yeah.
what's so cool about it, is that you've done the work so that now you have that lifestyle that you want.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap it up a little bit, but I want to talk about a stylist that's in a commission salon and they're scared to take the leap. They feel like they're ready, whether it be that they don't have clients or they have a ton of clients. Can you talk through why you took this leap and just walk them through it? Would
Yeah.
you recommend it for them and how it's changed your life in personal ways and professional ways? And just give them the mentorship they need to take the leap.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think there's a salon for everybody. This is was the right choice for me. I think it was incredible and I am so glad I did make that decision when I did. And I think it just depends on what your end goals are. For me, I always look at my future, my 10-year plan, my 5-year plan, and I felt like I was going to be held back at a
Mhm.
salon like that where it caps you at a certain point. There's
Sure.
stuff you can't do. There's things like for me what gets a lot of views on Instagram is styling my hair in the chair. we're not allowed to do that at a lot of commission salons. So little things like that. Same with I like to communicate with my clients and treat them with a certain amount of respect and in a certain way that not every front desk person is going
Sure.
to do. So there was a lot of things that I was like, you know what? I would way prefer to do this myself,
Mm.
take on a little bit more of the workload and build it exactly how I want. But with that comes a lot of business ownership
Sure.
and managing yourself, posting on social media, creating your own advertisement, figuring out how to get your own clients. So I think it's a great opportunity for people who really want to grow
Yeah.
and go farther than that. But if you're somebody who just wants to sit and clock in, do whatever hair sits in your chair today, clock out, get a W-2, and that's it, a commission salon might be
Sure.
a place for you to stay.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong
They
with that.
exist for a reason, but
Yeah, and I think that there are some stylists who would hate doing what I
sure.
do in
Yeah.
running the business side of it, and great, a commission salon is for you, they help you with that, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I love that. That's true though. It is true. It is true. It's just I think if you have the drive, you want to control your business. You want to be in
Yeah,
control of your hours. You want to take vacation whenever you want to. You don't want anybody looking over your shoulder or telling
yeah.
you how long a service should be.
That was a big thing for me is we weren't really allowed to pick our exact hours,
No.
so I was working until 9 PM. I don't wanna work till 9 PM.
No.
I wanna work at 8 AM and get off at 2 or 3. That's my
Perfect.
goal, and I don't wanna build a clientele at night just to be able to switch it as
Right.
I level up to the morning. So that was actually a big reason that I
Right.
was, "You know
Freedom.
what? I
Yeah,
have
you're
to
free to
know
do whatever you
myself."
want. And we
Yeah,
don't check. Like, I don't know if you're in I don't
yeah.
know when you work.
You
Like,
don't
if
know
you're
my
on
hours.
vacation, I'm like, "Oh, cool. Makenna's in
Yeah.
Vegas." Like,
No,
I'm just watching your Instagram. Like, you have freedom to be you and to work the hours you want and
yeah,
do the hair you want. I mean, I've worked in commission salons where everybody in the salon has to know how to do a perm. Everybody in
yeah.
the salon has to be able to do men's cuts. Everybody in the salon has to do a updos. I
Every
worked at one where we had to
yeah,
be able to do eyebrow waxes. Like, it was a mandatory
wow.
thing that every stylist had to wax eyebrows, and I was like,
Yeah. You're like, "What if I don't wanna wax eyebrows?"
yeah, so I'm actually really good at it, but it's because they made me do that, and something about that, that's not why I got into this, and I
Yeah,
don't wanna do services that I don't like or I'm uncomfortable with, and I mean, 10 years in, I was still doing men's cuts, which I'm actually good at, but, like, every single time somebody sat in my chair, I was like, "What if I don't know how to do this?" I remember in
yeah.
beauty school, some guy was like, "I want a flat top." And I was like,
How how am I
"Listen, I've
supposed to
been
do
here
this?
for 3 weeks. I barely know how to hold the clippers." He's like, "Don't round my corners." And I'm like, "I don't even know what you're
Like, what's a rounded corner?
I don't even know what you're saying right now." And I rounded his corners and he got mad. And I'm like,
Sure.
"Mom,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how to do this." But
Oh,
it's
so
like
you came to
that
beauty school.
yes, but it's like just having the freedom to choose your clients, choose your hours,
Yeah,
choose your
and
time
I
off.
think niching down on the types of clients that you enjoy
Oh
doing
my gosh.
just makes it so much better, not only for you, but for them because you get
That's where
to
it's
get
at.
s so much better at these few services that you're offering so
Yes.
quickly. I don't do pixies, I don't do men's cuts,
Yeah.
but in every day I walked into my last salon, I was so
Scared that
terrified
the
that
client comes in and
that's
you're like, "Do they have short hair?"
yeah,
Like, they're in the back. Like, I
because
remember
it
being like,
only
"Do
says
they look nice?"
haircut, it doesn't say
Yeah.
what type of haircut.
No, and nobody asked.
No.
Nobody even asked, and you've got 45 minutes.
Yep.
So, hope they don't want a full transformation when they
And
sit in
that
your
to me
chair.
gave me so much anxiety. I was
No.
like, I can't do this for the rest of my life."
No, no, every day just wondering. I wanna know I'm particular, but I wanna know what's on my book. I wanna know who I'm
Yeah.
talking to.
I wanna
Even
think through it, I wanna plan it out, I
yes,
wanna know what I'm walking into, and
and people don't realize new clients are like first dates every
I just
single
said that exact
time.
same thing yesterday. I was like, "It's like going
But
on a first
worse.
date."
Yes,
Yeah,
but worse because you have to do a good job. Like, you can't be like, "You know what? I
actually
don't
get
really like
out.
this person. I'm just gonna be rude and not do a good job and sneak out of the bathroom." You can't do
Yep.
that. They're in your home,
And it's you're the
salon.
one making the conversation and
Yes.
things going.
Yes.
Sometimes it just flows and it's, "Wow, this is such a good meeting." And then sometimes it's,
Sometimes
"Yeah,
it sucks,
she's
and you're
not
like, "I'm
giving
not gonna
that
see
even if
that
she wants
client
the hair."
again." Yeah, and that's okay because
Yep.
not everybody's for me, not everybody has to like me, and it comes
Yeah.
with uncomfy conversations, and that's a muscle you have to work. You
And
have to
it's
learn
all
how to have
learning.
them.
You can't stress yourself out over it. You just have to figure out what you can learn from that situation and grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes total sense. I think that wraps us up. Thank you
Okay.
so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for
I'm
listening.
I'm so proud of McKenna. You'll see me repost her stuff all the time. She just did my extensions like a couple weeks
Good.
ago. I drove to Barton Hills for her to do them. I love chatting with her. She's just, I mean, I love all of our stylists and they all run their businesses in amazing ways, but I've just been really impressed with what you've done. I thought you could really inspire others. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm
Will you tell
24.
Okay, so she's
Yeah.
24 years old, easy six figures, even at 23.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's really
I
impressive.
think about it all the time. I'm like, "Damn, I really did that.
You should be
I
really
really made it."
proud and not scared to talk about that because people need to know what's happening in our industry because they don't.
Yeah. There's
So,
so much to be made, and it's people just shove it to the side.
yes,
It's
they
like,
have no idea.
"Oh,
They're
that's
like, "Oh,
all back," and I'm like,
you're
"No,
going to
really?"
beauty school?" You're like, "Yeah, I spent like 15 grand on beauty school and I made
Yeah.
$100,000 my second
I'm actually
year.
making more than all of my friends who went to college,
And I'm
so
self-employed and I worked 35 hours this
yeah.
week."
No,
So
I don't work more than 30 hours a week,
I don't either. I never
so
did. Love it. But you're doing
yeah.
an awesome job. We're really proud of you. And I just
Thank you.
appreciate you sharing your experience so that other people can feel safe doing this. Where can we find you? If somebody wants to reach
Um,
out, if somebody wants their hair done, where can we find
yeah,
you?
on Instagram, hair by Makenna. I'm
Okay.
there. I'm posting all the
Awesome.
time, I respond,
Mhm.
so
She's got a fun Instagram. You guys
yeah.
follow it. You're going to be doing a podcast soon too.
I am. Me and my
Cool.
coworker Mandy are starting a podcast. We're filming our first episode on the 30th. Not
Amazing.
exactly sure when the release date is, but
Cool. I'll make sure that I repost that so people can find you
yeah.
and listen. That'll be super
And
fun.
we'll have to have you on as a
I
guest.
I'll be there. I would love to
Yeah,
do it. I would love to
let's
do
do
it.
it.
All right, cool. This wraps up Glam Chats. You guys, thanks for listening again and subscribe. Go find McKenna and we will talk soon.
All right. Bye.